many of us love eggplant? Not many of us. Well, I personally don't like eggplant. But this dish, if prepared creatively, could stand out. Today in Spice Box, I'm going to show you how to make eggplant in Schewzan ginger sauce. To make the eggplant in Schewzan ginger sauce, there are two parts to this. Now to fry the eggplant, you will need eggplant, maida, baking soda, salt and some oil. For the sauce part, you will need some spring onion greens, tomato puree, spring onions, red chilies, pepper powder, soy sauce, chili sauce, sugar, crushed garlic, ginger, corn flour and some tomato ketchup. So I'm going to start by marinating the eggplant in salt. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of salt. With your fingers, you can start smearing all of them. So I'm going to set this aside and allow this to marinate for 20 minutes while I get working on the baking soda and the all-purpose flour. I'm going to make a batter of this. A dash of water. You stir this up till you get a little thick batter. After you have done with the batter, you set this aside. And simultaneously, you can start heating some oil in the pan. Depending on the quantity of the eggplant, you can use a large skillet. Once the oil is hot, you can start dipping in the pieces of eggplant in batter and then gently immersing them in the oil. You continue to do the same with the rest of the eggplant. Deep fry the eggplant till golden brown. So the eggplants are golden brown. You can remove the first batch and drain them onto an absorbent paper. In a skillet, you can start heating some oil. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil is hot, you can toss in the dry red chilies. You fry this for a few seconds. Now you can start putting in the crushed garlic. You fry this for another few seconds and then you can toss in the sliced ginger pieces. Fry this for another 30 seconds. You can reduce the heat and start adding the soy sauce and chili sauce. So I'm going to be putting in 1.5 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of red chili sauce. Allow this to fry for another few seconds, say 20 seconds. Now you can add in the tomato sauce and the tomato juice. So I'm going to start putting in the tomato juice first. And then you can put in the tomato ketchup, 1 cup of tomato ketchup. Finally, you add some water to this. I'm going to be adding exactly 1 cup of this much of water. Now on low heat, you cook this for another minute or two. Once the sauce begins to bubble, you can start preparing the corn flour paste. So I'm using 1.5 teaspoon of corn flour. After you have mixed it up, pour in the corn flour mixture. Add a little more water to this. And finally cook this till it thickens. Sauce is done, it's time to turn off the heat. Now you can add a pinch of pepper to this. I'm adding just a pinch of pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and just a dash of salt. Stir this up and you cook this till you get the consistency of a sauce. It's thickened and we have reached a consistency of a sauce-like. It's time to turn off the heat. So the fried eggplant is ready. At the time of serving, you can generously pour on some Schewzan ginger sauce that we have just made. So after you've topped this with sauce, you can now generously garnish this with some spring onions, whites, and some spring onion greens. So here you go. The eggplant in Schewzan ginger sauce is ready to be served. Like I said, there are many ways of preparing eggplant, also known as brinjal. One of the most common ways of making brinjal or eggplant is making curry out of it, or by deep frying it. Here what I've done is we have made it in the Chinese style using different sauces. So that's when you get Schewzan ginger sauce. Being a little more experimental, you can prepare your own dish out of eggplant.